SummerSlam took place tonight in Minneapolis, Minnesota at US Bank Stadium. This was night 2 of the event. Before the main show began, there was the Countdown to SummerSlam Sunday show, which I watched on WWE's YouTube channel. You had the same 4 people on the panel: Joe Tessitore, Corey Graves, Big E, Peter Rosenberg. They recapped last night's show. As always, Kathy Kelly and Jackie Redmond were the only reasons to watch the Countdown show. Kathy was wearing a nice red dress and Jackie was wearing a nice white dress. It was like a red and white wine theme. They go to a pre-recorded sit-down interview with Jackie Redmond interviewing Seth Rollins. They talk about the Shield splits, and I wanted to point this out because Jackie Redmond used to work for Sportsnet in Canada, and they would talk about wrestling. And I remember a Jackie Redmond, who was a big fan, just being devastated when Seth turned on the Shield. She was a huge fan of all 3 of them, and she was so upset when he did that. So I know she's a big fan, and you can tell she is. And then they show some SummerSlam snapshots, including the match made in heaven in 1991. That was the wedding, the kayfabe wedding between Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. Wanted to point that one out. And I also have to mention, this is a really good-looking stadium. It's a real sight to see because it genuinely reflects the sports team name, the Vikings. It looks like a giant Viking ship. It's a really great stadium. It's too bad there wasn't a larger attendance because it would have looked even better on TV. But I want to believe, this is a fan in me, I want to believe Minnesota was still loyal to Vern Gagne in the AWA and they decided to protest by not going to SummerSlam. They're still upset about Vince's national expansion. Maybe that's why, because it would have looked better if there was more fans, but the stadium's great. Kathy Kelly, outside, hosted another Superstar Look-alike challenge. She just looked great in her red leather dress. Kathy is just a beautiful woman. She's really gorgeous to look at. And then later on, Sami Zayn was interviewed by the panel. He cut a good promo on Punk. They wanted you to believe he's next in line because he was just going off on the guy. We went to part 1 of a pre-recorded sit-down interview with Michael Cole interviewing Roman Reigns ahead of his main event match. Then we had Jackie Redmond interview Nick Aldis outside. The fans were still chanting for him. I just loved Jackie's short white dress and her legs. She just looks great tonight. Looking beautiful as always, Jackie Redmond. They plugged WWE Radio again. Then they had a really nice featurette, which I wanted to point out, on Robbinsdale High School. They have an alumni of just multiple wrestling legends, some really big names, and I'm glad they took time to point that out. Minnesota, it's the home of the AWA. Rich wrestling history, to say the least. And I also didn't realize, I think I said yesterday that the stage resembled a ship or something, a Viking ship. No, it actually kind of resembles a giant championship belt, if you actually look at it. Kathy Kelly was by a display of ladders as she hyped up the women's ladder match. Then they showed part 2 of Jackie Redmond's interview with Seth Rollins. And then they show a feature on Chad Gable, and it's a homecoming for him in Minnesota. The panel then moved inside. The stadium began to fill up for the show. They showed part 2 of Roman Reigns' interview, or Michael Cole's interview with Roman Reigns. And that's all I really watched from the Countdown show. Then the main show began. We had some superstar arrivals, including Danhausen, Dominik Mysterio, Charlotte Flair, Chelsea Green, Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, Lash Legend, and Trick Williams. I think that's the first time they've acknowledged that they're married. Baron Corbin was shown arriving as well. And then we see both Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns arriving. Then we got the opening video package. We had Finn Bálor out first. No Demon, which I was really disappointed at first. But then seeing what happened after that, I understand why. Then Sami Zayn came out. However, after that, it looked like the two of them were going to have a match. But then Nick Aldis makes a surprise appearance. and he adds a participant. It's now a triple threat match, and that man is Gunther. And it looks like, okay, we got a triple threat. But then he adds another participant, making it a fatal four-way match. A number one contenders. Winner faces CM Punk for the undisputed WWE Championship. Who is the mystery man? Who's the fourth guy? It's a returning Kevin Owens. After 16 months, he had neck surgery. Last year, he had to pull out of his match with Randy Orton at WrestleMania last year. It could have been the end of his career. It was very serious. 16 months later, he is back at SummerSlam. He got a big pop from the crowd. There was a fan who was very emotional. She clearly is a big fan. Didn't expect to see him there. Great ovation. Welcome back, Kevin Owens. A really great feel-good moment to start the show. And then we got a match after that. A number one contenders fatal four-way match. Sami Zayn, Finn Bálor, Gunther, Kevin Owens. And right away, you had Finn and Gunther go to the outside. Kevin and Sami hugged before they brawl. And Kevin took everyone out with a swanton to the floor. This felt like kind of a sprint. And I was just thinking, in the end, why does Gunther need to be here? Would it have made more sense for Nick Aldis, who hates Gunther, to just add Kevin Owens and make it a triple threat match? Why did he need to add Gunther? I didn't really like that part. And I think it kind of takes away from Gunther's win earlier in the show, when he or the previous night when he beat Nick Aldis. It was kind of similar to when they did that at the Royal Rumble. He beats AJ Styles, he retires him, then he has to get eliminated at the end in the Rumble by Roman Reigns. To me, that didn't make any sense. I was thinking, why? I mean, and the same thing here. Like, it takes away from his win. Anyways, Gunther put the sleeper hold on Sami, but Finn broke it up with the coup de grace. But then Gunther broke it up at the last second when Finn was about to pin Sami. Kevin would go on to hit the stunner on Finn Bálor and Gunther, taking them out. Then he hits a stunner on Sami Zayn, pins him 1-2-3 to win the match. Fun opener, really a showcase for returning Kevin Owens, who will now face CM Punk. And overall, a good fatal four-way match. It really could have been great. These four guys are capable of having a great match. You give them another, I think they got about 8 minutes. You give them another 7 to make it 15. You're going to get a great match. But, you know, we have to have 5 million ads. Like, that's the bigger issue. Like, you have to have 3.5-minute breaks because of stupid ESPN deal. Even though I'm watching on Netflix, I still get the commercials. And, of course, after this match, we enter break. Fuck TKO. Every time we're going to get commercials or fucking ads that we get on TV on a fucking PLE, I'm always going to say this. Fuck TKO. And then Baron Corbin was out next. He got no reaction, by the way. And I hate his new theme song. I miss the old theme song. It was one of the few good things about his last character that he had in his previous run. I think it's called I Bring the Darkness. End of Days. That's what's repeated in the song. It's actually a really good theme song, but I don't know why they had to change it. Then Lil Yachty, oh, he sucked tonight. He was the worst part of the fucking show tonight. Besides the Danhausen match. Jeez, this guy sucks. He came out to introduce Trick Williams, who got a big ovation, crowd singing, whoop that Trick. We get the United States Championship match, Trick Williams defending against Baron Corbin. So Trick randomly brings out a table. I'm thinking, like, why? It's a title match. Like, if you're just going to do that, make it a no DQ match or something. But then Corbin hits a deep 6 on the outside, which looked pretty good. Later in the match, Corbin shoves Lil Yachty off the apron and he goes through the table. Lil Yachty was fucking horrible in this match. He made so many mistakes. He's missed timing stuff. And there was a spot that was really bad when Corbin ran against the ropes and Yachty was supposed to hit him with the kendo stick. But Yachty was slow and it made Corbin look like a fucking fool because he had to stay on the ropes because Yachty was slow. And like, he was out of position. Get rid of this guy. Trick doesn't need him. I think the fans might turn on Trick because of Yachty. Yachty sucks. Anyways, after Yachty was taken out, he went through the table. The referee was distracted. That allowed Baron Corbin to hit Trick Williams at the U.S. Championship bout. Then he hits at the end of days 1, 2, 3, and Baron Corbin wins the United States Championship. He looked ridiculous at the end, holding up the fur belt, but it's a good moment for him. Gone, fired, a year and a half later, I believe, or so. He's back, and he's your new United States champion. So, good for Corbin. You can say that. Definitely some redemption for him. I don't know when he was fired, actually. Was it late 2024 or 23? I forget. But, yeah, definitely something he needed. and he got a good win here. But the match wasn't very good because Lil Yachty, he fucked everything up. Trick's not that good in the ring, and Corbin I've never been a big fan of. The issue here was Yachty. He really dragged the match down, which was not expected to be a great match, but it got a lot worse because of him. He sucked. Then we saw ladders being set up at ringside. We go to another break. Once again, fuck TKO. Tiffany Stratton was out next. Got a nice pop wearing purple, gold, and white, the colors of the Minnesota Vikings on her gear. And of course, she's the hometown girl. Grew up about 25 minutes away, I believe, from Minneapolis. And then Jade Cargill was out next. She wore gear paying homage to Prince, who was actually from Minneapolis. That was cool. Then Chelsea Green was out next to a nice pop. Fans really like Chelsea, and for good reason. People are starting to get behind her. Then Lash Legend came out to no pop, and then Charlotte Flair came out last to a nice pop. Had to mention this. She wore her gear in tribute to her friend Scarlett. If you don't know who Scarlett is, I actually made a short about this. You can check it out. I talked about Scarlett. She was a young fan who was diagnosed with cancer. I think it was an aggressive form of brain cancer. And she was just the biggest Charlotte fan. Charlotte actually formed a relationship with her. She attended her first communion, I believe. And they were really close. She went to Scarlett's birthday parties. And sadly, Scarlett passed away last month. So Charlotte actually had her ring gear in tribute to her fallen young friend, Scarlett, who passed on last month due to her battle with cancer. So rest in peace, Scarlett. And this was a really classy tribute from Charlotte to her friend. I believe Scarlett's family was in attendance for this. And then we got the interim WWE Women's Championship, a 5-way ladder match. Fake belt, by the way. It's not the real Women's Championship. But we have Tiffany Stratton against Jade Cargill, against Chelsea Green, against Charlotte Flair, against Lash Legend. Charlotte was attacked immediately by Jade, of course, reigniting their feud. They're in a rivalry, actually. They're going to have a match on SmackDown this Friday, I believe. So Tiffany and Chelsea work together, which makes sense. They have their friendship. Tiffany and Charlotte had a face-off. Of course, people, that's a callback to their feud from last year, which was horrible, by the way. They're going to build that as a major rematch down the line. I never want to see that feud again after what they did last year. It was so terrible. Anyway, Jade hit Jaded to Chelsea on a ladder, which looked like it hurt. And then Lash, I hated this spot, by the way. You had a ladder that was horizontally set up on the ropes. Lash powerbombs Tiffany onto the ladder, and Tiffany starts screaming because her lower back, and she was not selling it. It looked like Tiffany got hurt. Lash just crushed this girl. She just smashed Tiffany with this. Like, she powerbombed her and just, like, launched the fucking girl into the ladder. It looked like it hurt. And Charlotte was then hanging from the belt until she was pulled down by both Jade and Lash. Later, they fought each other off. Tiffany was about to win, but then this was probably my favorite spot. And I wish this match ended because this was such a high spot. And I mean, not just a crazy spot, but it was a high spot of the match. It's my favorite because it's a callback from Money in the Bank 2 years ago. And remember, Chelsea Green's about to win the briefcase 2 years ago. But then her friend, Tiffany Stratton, knocks her off the ladder, and Chelsea goes crashing through a table on the outside, and she fails to win. And then Tiffany grabs the briefcase. I would have liked if this match ended here. It would have been on a better note, because Chelsea knocks Tiffany off the ladder, and Tiffany does like a somersault to the outside, which looked good, and it takes out the other 3 competitors. I would have preferred if it just ended there. All right, good. Now, Chelsea can go win, but that's not what happened. Mishin and BFAB then started attacking Chelsea, and she was then hanging upside down on her legs from the ladder. And after that, the other competitors in the match all set up ladders beside them. They took themselves out. Also, BFAB and Mishin were taken out, and then I think it was Charlotte and Jade on one ladder. They eliminated themselves, and before them, it was Lash and Tiffany on the other 2, and they were all, and they took themselves out. So everyone's out, except Chelsea Green is still hanging upside down. So she literally pulls herself up. She almost like reverses skins the cat, when someone's hanging from their arms on the ropes and they skin the cat. You'll see that in the Royal Rumble. This time, like, she's hanging from her legs on the ladder and she, like, has to, like, set herself up. It was actually pretty cool. And then she climbs to the top and retrieves the interim WWE Women's Championship to win their ladder match. And definitely the biggest win of her career, even though she's not the women's champion technically. She's the interim champion. This was still a big win for her. She just got a massive pop from the fans, which was great. Really nice, happy moment for Chelsea. A good feel-good moment for her. Definitely, I thought of that Unreal Season 2, not Season 3, this one, but the one before, when Michael Hayes was saying that she'll never be at Tiffany Stratton or Charlotte Flair's level as a top female star. Well, she was in a ladder match and with both Charlotte and Tiffany, and she won. She won the Interim Women's Championship. Big win for her. Nice feel-good moment. The crowd loved her, by the way. And even on the pre-show, I was noticing they were really behind Chelsea. I thought they'd be more behind Tiffany because she's from there, but they love Chelsea, and she's getting over. She's just really good at what she does. And over time, even though she's presented as a heel for most of her tenure, she's really entertaining, and the fans just got behind her. So this was a good moment, and just a great pop from the fans. And look, I think she's going to get killed by Rhea Ripley. She's going to get squashed probably, but it's still a good moment for Chelsea Green on SummerSlam. The ladder match was pretty sloppy. I knew who was in it. Like Jade's in here, Lash is in here. Tiffany can be hit or miss sometimes, to be honest. Chelsea's not like a great in-ring performer. Charlotte, I don't know what she's gonna do here. Like the woman in here, it didn't make me think this was gonna be a good match, and it wasn't bad. It was okay. To me, I thought it was the best it probably could be with who was in there, and I didn't mind it. I do think, however, like they should put better women in that Money in the Bank match in a couple months. And it was just kind of weird to me still that they'd have a women's ladder match, a multi-person women's ladder match, so close to Money in the Bank. That's still weird to me. But Chelsea gets the win in a nice moment, as I said. Then we go to commercial break. Once again, fuck TKO. We had a video package for the next match, which sucked. Dominik Mysterio was out next, and Danhausen came out in his mobile. We got the Human Monies on, Human Monies on a pole match. Let me get that fucking right. Danhausen against Dominik Mysterio. This was fucking dog shit. I didn't think you could have a worse match for the whole weekend than that 6-woman tag from last night. This somehow managed to make that match seem good. This was a lot worse. This was a fucking joke. Like, Braun Breaker is not on the show, but fucking Danhausen is. And Dom, this is such a fall from grace for him. Last year at this time, he beat AJ Styles to retain his Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. A year later, he's fucking losing to Danhausen on a Money in a Pole match. And I don't think Undertaker's happy because he runs AAA, and I'm sure he's not happy that he's getting Dom just lost to Danhausen because he's the AAA champion. And they're going to build up that LRMania match against El Grande Americano in a month. So, like, this sucked. Fuck this. This is fucking shit. I'm sick of Danhausen. Like, get him off. Don't let him wrestle. If he's going to be a comedy guy, let him have his fucking segment on SmackDown every week. That's fine. He can go to his fucking lair. It's a fun segment. Just don't have him in the fucking ring giving him matches on fucking PLEs. I had to mention this. Dominik actually hit the Three Amigos. This is in tribute to Eddie Guerrero, who I believe died in Minneapolis. And they didn't mention that Eddie died there, but like Cole said, Eddie Guerrero in Minnesota, that's where he passed away. So that was a tribute to him. And I think Liv actually hit that on night one, the night before. They didn't mention like where he passed, but he did die in Minnesota. So Jade interferes, and then the Minnehausens attack him. You get a fucking spotlight for El fucking Chorito. Oh, this guy sucked. This feud with Hornswoggle years ago was fucking dog shit. Like Hornswoggle was fired soon after that. So was Chorito, if I remember correctly. Oh, why do we fuck this stuff? Like, just I don't need to see this shit. No, but anyway, they take out JD, Dom. Joe Hendry makes a surprise appearance. He gets his entrance finally. He hits a guitar. smashes a guitar over JD's back that took him out. Eventually, it's Danhausen and Dom. Dom's going to grab the money, but then Danhausen curses him. Pyro shoots out from the ring post, and Dom goes to the ground. He's out, and then Danhausen grabs the fucking briefcase, whatever it's fucking called, the fucking human monies on the pole, the fucking bag of money, and he wins. He then gives money to people in the crowd, including Nick Khan's kids. If you didn't see that, Nick Khan was in the front row. I think it's his kids he gave that to. They really needed Danhausen, yeah. Oh, jeez. This fucking sucked. We see Chad, Gable, and Penta warming up in the back. Then we go to another break. Once again, fuck TKO. Then they showed some legends in the crowd, which I liked. The Killer Bees, Rick Martel, Greg Gagne, of course, the son of the legendary promoter from Minnesota, Vern Gagne, who ran the AWA, and also Molly Holly. Chad Gable was out next. He was wearing Minnesota Vikings colors, as did Tiffany Stratton earlier. Both of them are from there. And then Penta was out next. Crowd didn't hate Penta. They were up firmly behind Gable, but it wasn't like Penta got booed. We get the Intercontinental Championship match next. To be honest, I think this would have worked better if they opened the show. I thought this would be the opener. I thought they'd have a great opening match, and it was a bit difficult going before the main event. We had Penta defending his title against Chad Gable here. I liked it, but I just think it would have came off a lot better had it been the opener. Also, their match on Raw, almost like a year and a half ago, more than a year and a half, that match was better than this, to be honest, that they had. That was Penta's debut. I like that a lot better than this. So they have a chop off early on. Gable got busted open. Then Gable hit a German suplex on the apron, which looked good. Penta hit the Mexican Destroyer on the apron, and it looked good. But the announcer was trying to say like he didn't hit all of it. The way it looked on camera, it looked like he really got it. But Gable kicked out in the ring. And then eventually Gable would submit Penta to the ankle lock to win the Intercontinental Championship. I thought this was a good matchup. I just think these two are capable of having like a real SummerSlam classic. Like, you know, I don't know if I would be like, when I talk about the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam, I'm not saying it's going to be as good as like Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect or Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog. And Bret Hart was like Mr. SummerSlam. Him or Brock Lesnar, they're either one of them are Mr. SummerSlam. But I thought they'd have like a really good match, and so still good. I enjoyed the match overall. It's a good match. I just think it could have been a lot better if they had more time and if they went on earlier. But then again, the Owens return was, I think they saw that as a bigger deal because that's going to lead into a world title program. But anyway, Gable submitting Penta was still a good finish. I liked the ending. Chad was emotional after he won. Penta hands him the title and raises his hand. A cool moment. And then Chad would celebrate with his family in the ring, which was nice. Of course, we remember, I think almost 3 years ago or so, around that, when he lost to Gunther on Raw, and then his whole family was crying in the front row, his daughter bawling. That was a sad moment. Here, he gets some redemption. The family joins him in the ring. Then he gets on the mic and says his name, where he's from, kind of like what he did when he got masked in the Mask versus Mask match for AAA. And then he thanks his family. Really nice moment there. And then he drinks his root beer because the root beer mascot made an appearance. Gable drinks root beer like Steve Austin. I don't know. I guess it's kind of supposed to be almost a nod of Kurt Angle drinking milk like Austin all those years ago. I'm not sure. But good moment for Gable. Definitely. Not his career highlight. No, because the Mask versus Mask match was a classic. But, you know, he needed to win. He needed to win here. He got the win. It was a good matchup. I enjoyed it. I just think it could have been a great match if under better circumstances, if they opened the show. And I think they would have had, it would have worked better. And also if they got more time. But still a good match. I feel similar to how I felt about the Fatal 4-Way. It was good, but like if they got more time, it would have been great. But again, nice moment for Gable. Definitely deserved that after the work he's put in with that great feud he had with the other Americano. Then we go to another break. Once again, fuck TKO. We check back in with the panel. No technical difficulties tonight like there was last night. there's something going on with WWE's production. I don't know what it is. Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings, he's a wide receiver. He was hyping up the crowd before the main event. Thankfully, this was very brief. Then we had the main event video package. We heard the Shield intro briefly when Seth Rollins appeared. He was dressed in the tactical Shield gear, but then flames shot up from the entrance ramp, and then he goes and makes his traditional entrance. I don't know what his gimmick is supposed to be now, but the modern Seth Rollins character. And he, of course, ditches the Shield gear, and then he's in his regular ring gear, makes his entrance. Then after a very long pause, Roman Reigns came out next. He got a big pop as he made his entrance. Definitely felt like more of a Roman crowd tonight. Alicia Taylor did the ring introductions with Michael Cole and Wade Barrett calling the main event, which was the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Roman Reigns defending his title against Seth Rollins. I wanted to mention this. There was a really cool sign in the crowd, definitely the best sign of the entire weekend, that read Purple Rains. It's a tribute to Prince, that song Purple Rain. That was played in the Stranger Things finale, by the way. That was relevant because of that. The Purple Rain song and Purple Rains sounds kind of cool, like Roman Reigns. I just wanted to mention that. So early on, Seth gets the advantage. They battled in the crowd for a while. This annoyed me. Okay. This is my biggest complaint about the match. That's my only complaint. The same thing happened at WrestleMania this year. CM Punk's hung upside down. The Roman Reigns smashes him over the head with steps repeatedly and doesn't get disqualified. He busts open Punk. Here, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins just decide, hey, we're going to go into the fucking crowd and fight for like 5 minutes, and they're not going to get counted out. This pisses me off. Just do a fucking ref bump. Why do you have to make the ref look like a fucking idiot? It's so stupid. It really is. This just annoys me. Like, why do they fucking have to do this? Make it a street fight. Make it no DQ then. Like Cena and Cody was last year at SummerSlam. Do something like that. Why do they have to make the referee look like a fool? He looks so stupid. So dumb. Like, anyway. They finally fight back at ringside, and Roman Reigns powerbombs Seth Rollins through the announce booth. Seth then pays him back and hits his own version of the Shield powerbomb to Roman Reigns through the other announce booth. This felt like a whole love letter to the Shield, this match. There were so many homages to the Shield. Too much to count, by the way. But that's the whole story of the whole match. And that makes sense because the whole thing they were talking about was Seth breaking up the Shield 12 years ago when he hit Roman Reigns in the back with the steel chair. And that was really the story here, was the Shield. And then you had Roman kick out of a curb stomp from Seth. Then Roman locked in the guillotine, but Seth got out. But then he got speared by Roman, but then Seth kicked out of a spear. Then you had Seth hit his own version of a spear onto Roman, so they're using each other's finishers. I think Rock and Austin made that famous when they would use each other's finishers onto their opponent. And I think like ever since then, that's now people use each other's finishers. They hit their opponent's finisher. And then after Rollins hits a spear, Seth Rollins hits the curb stomp, and then Seth Rollins kicks out. So Reigns kicking out of a spear, Rollins kicking out of a curb stomp. Then you had a Dirty Deeds. Yes, Roman Reigns hit the Dirty Deeds to Seth Rollins. That's a double arm DDT. That was Dean Ambrose's finisher for years in WWE. I think he still does it, just a modified his own version of it now. But they mentioned Dean Ambrose on commentary, which was cool. They needed to do that. Of course, they're not going to call him John Moxley. They don't need to. Dean Ambrose, he's the part of the Shield. They needed to at least reference him in some way. He definitely deserves to be recognized because this is the Shield. It's a 3-man group: Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. So then Roman spears the referee by accident. Seth brings in a chair, but then Roman stopped him. And then Roman gets an opportunity to hit Seth in the back with a steel chair, but he refuses to do it. He can't bring himself to do it. He wants to beat him man-to-man, beat him decisively in the ring. He puts the chair down. Then they have dueling strikes. Seth hits a curb stomp. He goes to the top to finish him off with a super curb stomp. But then Roman Reigns reverses, and then he hits a spear onto Seth. Then he hits a second consecutive spear onto Seth. There's still no referee now. Then Roman hits a third spear to Seth. He told him it's always been about us, spears him for a third time, and then a referee gets in the ring just as Roman pins Seth 1, 2, 3 to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns finally defeats Seth Rollins in a major match at a PLE to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. And now the Shield saga is officially over. After the match, Roman offered a Shield fist bump to Seth. Seth also had a mask, by the way, that the Shield once used. I think that was the WrestleMania 30 entrance, which looked awful. It was just a horrible entrance, by the way. But it's like a Shield face mask. He puts it down in the ring, and then like he takes Roman Reigns and they fist bump. They don't shake hands. They do the Shield fist bump with the two, and there's the mask in the ring. I don't know, is the mask supposed to represent Dean Ambrose? I'm not sure. But they do the Shield fist bump, which was cool. And then Seth leaves the ring as Roman celebrates to end the show. And they had a great match. Great main event. Easily the best match of the entire weekend by far. They did a great match. Roman Reigns always has great main events at big shows. At WrestleManias, at SummerSlams, he delivers in the main event. They tore it up here. I think this is easily the best match that these two have ever had, easily, against each other in a singles match. This was great. I'm not sure if I liked it better than Roman's match with Punk at WrestleMania, but it's close. I think they're neck and neck. In some ways, I might prefer this because there's more of a story between the two, and I like the homages to the past. I like how they tied up loose ends, and I like how this felt like truly the Shield's final chapter. And they had to recognize Ambrose, and I'm glad they at least mentioned him. And it felt like this is it now. It came full circle. It's over. It's been 12 years since the split, which I was devastated when that happened. When Seth hit Roman in the back with the chair, I was screaming no at my TV because there was a fan who screamed no right when Seth hit Roman in the back with the chair. You can hear it. Go back and watch it. Watch the segment. I was just like, I was saying no right when I saw Rollins and Ambrose like close to the ropes, and then Seth's behind him. He's the only one who has a chair, and he just hits Roman in the back. Oh, that sucked. That sucked. I was so devastated by it, but I'm glad we finally got the closure. Great match, great main event. One of the best SummerSlam main events of all time. I'm not sure if it's better than the match Cody Rhodes had with John Cena last year at Night 2. That might be a little bit better. But some might prefer this. Again, this has a lot of story to it. That's what I love about it. A lot of story, a very long, it's a 12-year story that they closed off here, that they finally put a cap on. Came full circle. So that's probably my favorite thing about it. I like the homages to the past, and the Shield saga is officially over. So now we go to the post-show. And the overall show for SummerSlam Night 2 is definitely better than Night 1, by the way. Definitely a better show than Night 1. Better main events, for sure. I thought it was good. I thought, I don't know if it was better than WrestleMania Night 2. Maybe a little bit better. But SummerSlam as a whole was much better than WrestleMania was. So on the post-show, Jackie Redmond interviewed Roman Reigns after his win. He says it's always been about him and Seth. And he subtly took some shots at CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. If you read in between the lines, he's saying none of us got afraid, had to leave. Why would Roman Reigns leave? He got like 100 main events. But he mentions like other guys who left. Ambrose, he left. That could have been a shot at him. Punk left, of course. Cody Rhodes left, so could have taken that. But he really put over Seth there, and it's always been about the two of them. And then we go to the panel outside. Same four guys. Kevin Owens joined the panel. He talked about his recovery. He was the only one back after he got a good scan, a positive scan, 3 weeks ago on his neck. He was a total babyface here, and I love how he actually took time to put over Rebel from AEW. She's actually battling ALS. It's a terminal diagnosis, by the way. Very classy moment from Kevin Owens, or should I say Kevin Steen here as a person. Mentioned her. I felt really bad for her, but that's really nice of him to mention her. Very, very heartfelt, I thought. I really liked that. Very classy moment from him. Then we go to the back. Kathy Kelly interviewed Baron Corbin after he won the U.S. Championship. Loved looking at Kathy again, not going to lie. But Corbin says he'll rip the fur off the belt, or off the championship title, whatever you want to call it. Good. Danhausen joins the panel next. I didn't care. Then Chelsea Green joined the panel. Fans loved her. That was cool. People are really liking her. And she dedicates the title to Michael Hayes. Good. Stick it in his face, Chelsea Green. And again, it's cool that, he says she'll never be at Tiffany Stratton or Charlotte Flair's level. Well, she actually beat them both in a ladder match. So good for Chelsea Green. Then we go backstage where Kathy Kelly interviews Triple H. He comments on the main events and other things that happened in the weekend. So this was done. Kathy got a lot of time to interview him. This was done because Triple H didn't want to do the post press conference or whatever where he takes questions. So I guess this was the substitute for that. He at least did it for one night. So that's what it seemed like this was for. Then Chad Gable joined the panel to end the post show. He's a total babyface in Minneapolis. And overall, that was the end of the post show. So for SummerSlam this year, I'll say I liked it overall. I'm not sure if it's better than SummerSlam last year. It was pretty good last year. But this year, I thought night 1 was okay. I thought night 2 was definitely better. It was a decent show, a good show. And I liked it. I liked this show overall. And I think it's probably the best overall PLE WWE has done. Actually, it's easily because it blows Royal Rumble away. And I think it's better than WrestleMania and any of the other B shows they've done besides that. And it's not like SummerSlam was spectacular this year, but that tells you the state of WWE PLEs in 2026. But because it's not like, I don't think this is an all-time great SummerSlam, but I thought it was a decent SummerSlam. I would say a solid SummerSlam. Maybe even good. Night 2 was definitely good. I thought night 1 was okay at least. So overall, I would say I enjoyed SummerSlam this year in 2026 from Minnesota. And for the second straight year, SummerSlam has been better than WrestleMania.